Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another author showcase from the Beyond the Diagnosis Stories of Living and Thriving. And today I have the pleasure to have with me another one of our amazing co-authors, Miss Sarah Sims. Hey, Sarah, how you doing this evening?
Hey Monique, I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here and have this conversation and super excited about the book.
Yes, we are super excited to have you. So, for those who are watching us, and hey to all who catch the replay, Sarah, answer for me, what does Beyond the Diagnosis mean to you?
Oh my gosh, it represents so many opportunities, but the one that speaks the most to me is choice. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when we get diagnosed, we focus so much on the effects and the impact that the diagnosis has on our lives. And that's completely valid because
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes by the time you've gotten diagnosed, you've already lived some tumultuous versions of those symptoms and you finally have an answer. But once you have an answer, now you get the opportunity to make a choice. You can make a
Mm,
choice to conform to what this disease could have possibly done to you. You have the choice to live if you have an option to change lifestyle, if it's lifestyle oriented, you have the
mm-hmm.
choice to choose to maintain the lifestyle you've had or do the homework, do the deep work so that you could start to transform yourself from the inside out. And you have the choice to embody the limitations that oftentimes society wants to give those who are diagnosed. So, to me,
Mm,
beyond the diagnosis means that you consistently choose yourself
mm,
and consistently choose the best version of yourself, which requires you to do deep work, self care, so that the version you really aspire to be, or you might have feel that you lost, you regain. It just looks completely different. So for me, beyond the diagnosis really comes down to choice. And you get oftentimes being diagnosed resets you. It resets your choices. So you get a whole new plethora of choices to make and
mm-hmm.
take that as an opportunity rather than a limitation.
Oh, I love that. I never heard it expressed in that way, but as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I was like, yeah, I can definitely resonate with it because I was like, okay, you can choose to be a victim, you can choose to be woe is me, or you can choose to see how can I make this work in my higher good. And
That's right.
as a result of
That's right.
the choice that I, as far as this is project is all about that to help women and probably men as well too, to be able to see that you do not, you have the diagnosis, but it does not necessarily have you.
That's
That
right.
has been the model I've been living by. So, Sarah, what do you want for those who have the pleasure of reading your chapter in this anthology project? What would you like the reader to take away after reading your story?
I would like the reader to take away that life will consistently present you with choices, and sometimes it looks like the form of a diagnosis. And if and when that time does come, you and the reader you being the reader should approach it as a reset rather than a setback.
Mm,
And I
true.
really, lead with talking about self-care from the perspective of doing that work allows you to be the best version of yourself for others. And oftentimes I did this initially when I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis with MS. I thought, oh, what is the effect this going to have on my children? What effect is this going to have on my family, my career, my relationships, right? My output performance. But
Mm-hmm.
I quickly had to learn that what it really meant was this is a scream and holler for you to take better care of yourself.
Mm,
And once I realized that that was actually what the diagnosis was telling me, it was a game changer. Because when I said, okay, if I really focus on lifestyle, mental, spiritual health, that has a far more profound in becoming the better and best, healthiest version with whatever the diagnosis limitation gives me, but doing my very best to take care of my own health, I
Mm-hmm.
actually got to be the mom that I wanted to be for my daughters, the wife I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be for my husband, right? So it's like constantly thinking less about what's outside of you and starting with the woman or man that you who you are, working on it, developing yourself, contribute, being the first, you're being your biggest here, being your biggest cheerleader, being your own
Mm-hmm.
hero, like really leaning into that and really redefining what that is. And I talk about that in my previous book I wrote called The Stress Less Method. It's this four-step approach that I take to kind of reinventing your well-being. And I've had to leverage those 4 steps multiple times. And so I'd love for the reader to walk away with how kind of reinventing who you are after the diagnosis is an opportunity. And
Mm-hmm.
you should run to the opportunity and say, okay, what does this mean for me? Where do I go from here? And it is not, an art. I believe it is a science. I believe that it is an approach. And so I'll talk more about what that approach is in the book.
Oh, I love that spin on that, Sarah. So, for those who want to get more familiar with who you are and what you do, can you give us like a brief overview of who Sarah Sims is and
Sure.
basically how can we connect with you, those who are interested? And I know, but I would love for you to share as to what you do and who Sarah
Sure.
Sims is.
Sure. So, full time, I have a full corporate career, which I enjoy in workplace and corporate real estate. And I've been doing that for over 20 years. But, when in the day, the 5 o'clock time hits, I really pivot into health and wellness. Being a
Mhm.
health empowerment coach, I've been coaching for nearly 10 years now, but I am as of last year, became a board certified health and wellness coach, which means that I use methodologies that are very closely related to psychology, holistic health, and positive psychology. I've been coaching through my new company, Destined to Live Well, now for the past 2 years, where we have 28-day detox challenges, how we improve your stress management through self-care, which is literally
Mhm.
what stress self-care means, is taking care of yourself during the seasons of stress. So I help primarily women figure out how they live a stress less lifestyle. I'm a author as well. I wrote the book Stress Less: How to Use Self Care to Redefine Your Wellbeing, where I break down that method that I talk about in a story format. So you can find my book out there. You can hire me for coaching. You could join one of my groups where we have a stress less detox family, we call ourselves. And I also have a product based business where I make handcrafted products that are created with non toxic ingredients. So, some home products, some scented products, some body and skincare products as well through Autumn and Joy.
So you have quite a few things going on. There's all of that. Can they find it at the platform as well as this anthology under your website, Autumn and Joy?
Yes, so you can find the pre-sales for the book or post it on autumnandjoy.com. And also, you can find more about kind of our wellness side of the practice at Destined, so DESTINED, to livewell.com. So destinedtolivewell.com has more information on the health and wellness side of what we do.
Wonderful. Well, everyone, we have had an honor of speaking with Sarah this evening. So make sure you check out her website for her health and wellness services, her coaching services, and to go ahead and become a part of history with this first series of the Beyond the Diagnosis anthology. All those who happen to support her and get a copy during our pre-sales, which is open now, February up until March 9th, you will become a part of history and be a part of our special acknowledgement section. So make sure you head on over to her website, get that copy, bless someone. It may not be yourself who may have an autoimmune disorder, or because someone that you know, a friend, a family member. Be a blessing to them and help them to be able to make a choice, as Sarah said, to live better and take this diagnosis and turn it around for their greater good. Also be tuned. March 1st, tickets go live for the Beyond the Diagnosis conference. We will be having the official launch of the anthology there. Come and meet all of the wonderful co-authors, take pictures, get an autograph. It's going to be a great time. So we will be back later on this week with more of our co-authors. So definitely stay tuned. Thank you all for checking us out. Have a good evening. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Tonique.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.